Find product links below and hundreds more videos on my channel. Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Nitsan, I'm a filmmaker and photographer, and today we're going to take a look at the KTV carbon fiber slider. And now I do know that there are other sliders online that look very similar to this, and I will be trying and reviewing those as well, but basically I don't have the budget to buy everything at once. I basically just have to sell stuff on eBay before I can afford to buy more new stuff to review. So I will be trying those other ones as well. And of course, always do let me know when you see some new stuff that you want me to review. I'd love to hear about it. So yeah, definitely let me know what sliders you'd like me to review next. Okay, so this is my first carbon fiber slider because most sliders are made of metal. And the first thing to mention is that with this particular slider, you're not gaining any weight advantage with carbon fiber. So carbon fiber is great, but the overall weight of the system, not including this rotating flywheel, not including that. So just the slider itself is the same weight as a standard metal slider. You're not going to get any weight advantage from this until you consider the fact that this has connection points for additional rails. So this can very easily, you just undo these two and you can add additional rails. And once you consider that those additional rails are made of carbon fiber and they have almost no weight, so all the weight here is, here and here and here. So adding, when you connect those, you suddenly have a slider that's very long and much lighter weight than that same length made of metal. So you do get a weight advantage, but not if you only use the short one. If you only use the short one, it's actually the same weight. But currently that, those extension rails are not available. So, well, they're not available from this company, from KTV. So maybe the extension rods from other manufacturers might fit. Maybe KTV will make extension rods, I don't know. But have a look in the description below for updates about that and other updates. And so, okay, so now back to the point of the price and the weight here. So the Canova system, obviously if you've seen my video a few years ago, this was my idea of putting rotating, a flywheel on a slider to make it go smoother. And obviously I don't mind other people and other manufacturers using the idea because I posted the video online. Which, was my whole idea of, just sharing the idea. So when you consider the cost of the Canova slider, the parts that you need to connect and make a rotating weight for the Canova slider, and the weight itself, and the few little, bits and pieces that you need to connect everything together, then it's actually, I calculated, I think it was something like £10 more expensive than just buying this ready with the weight. So this might seem expensive at first, slightly more expensive than some other ones, but the Canova K2 is basically the cheapest good slider on the market, and this is the same price as that when you consider both of them with a flywheel weight. So I think that's actually great. So the price here is actually very good value for money. And now the quality of the slider is very good. It's very well made, it is smooth. A few things that really need to be improved. Actually, one specific thing that needs to be improved is that one of these wheels wasn't in the right position, which means that it did take me, basically it was just not touching the rail. So it took me much longer to actually play around with the adjustment. It does have adjustments underneath, but it did take me a while, and I got it just about good, but not completely perfect. So I guess that's just an issue with this one unit, I think. But basically, they need to put a little bit more attention onto the accuracy of the placement of the wheels, because you can't move the individual wheels around. You only have one adjustment place. So that one adjustment has to make 6 wheels fit perfectly, and that's basically the issue. And so I did get it to be perfect, well, basically as close to perfect as I think I'm going to get from this, without any wiggle issues when using it together with the fluid head, because that's mainly the thing that I'm looking out for, is if one of the wheels isn't touching, or if the carriage system isn't holding onto the rails very well, then when I try and use a fluid head with it, then it's going to have some wiggle issues, and this is, just about good. Over to the weight system. It is fantastic that manufacturers are starting to make sliders with a weight system. I think that's awesome. I've wanted one for, well, since I came up with the idea a couple of years ago or whenever that was. It does come off. It does have a little place for it in the pouch, which is nice, but you can also just leave it on while the entire slider is in the case. I'll show you the case in a second. And it, you know, it connects very nice and easily, definitely easier and definitely safer than the sort of DIY method that I did with the Canova. But what you need to do is you need to, first of all, potentially get a new belt. You don't have to, but potentially get a new belt for this, or at least flip the belt upside down, because the teeth, even though, you know, they add more grip, they do cause little bumps. So you definitely want to flip it upside down so that the teeth are just being ignored completely, so it's basically running on the smooth side, and that's fairly easy to do. And when you connect this up, then that helps you get much smoother shots. But you want that to spin faster. You want to have the same weight here. I think it's around 500 grams, which is great. You know, I don't have to carry my 2.5 kilos of, you know, that I'm carrying with my Canova. Although same thing goes for the Canova, exact same issue, because they've even used the part that looks almost identical here. Basically, it's a little wheel, and that wheel is too big, just like it is on the Canova, meaning this thing is spinning too slowly. And so what you can do is you can very easily move this wheel out of the way. You just need a little Allen key, or a hex tool. You just move that out of the way. You just unscrew the little thing, push it upwards, and have this sitting directly onto the metal screw, which is right in the center here. And then you basically make this thing spin a lot faster, which makes this thing go a lot smoother. The case is nice. It is very nice and large. They don't make you disassemble it in order to put it into there, which with some sliders you do. They want you to disassemble it to put it in. Here they don't, which is lovely. I really like that. It is very well padded, and it has, you know, some like nice stiff hard edges. It is a very good case. I really like that. This does give you enough room. If you disconnect the head from the slider, it does give you enough room to place the head into the case as well, and that's great. But you should be careful that obviously it's two things that could damage each other potentially. Great case, definitely happy with that. And I would definitely want to see large cases like that from other manufacturers as well, even with smaller sliders, so that I can put accessories into that, because most of the time I have to carry all my accessories like a fluid head in other cases. And potentially you could, you know, you could put this in a little case and then put that case into the big slider case. So definitely nice, and you might even be able to fit a tripod into that if it's not too big. So I really like this. It is almost good enough, and it is the first slider that is almost good enough to replace my Canova system, but not quite there. Why? Simply because of that bearing system, which could, you know, just really needed that small bit of extra accuracy, and the fact that it's not available with extension rods. If those extension rods were available, simply having a slider that is roughly 80 centimeters, meaning a great length for the average day-to-day use, plus a slider for no extra carrying weight, almost no extra carrying weight, a slider that very quickly becomes a very long slider, and not double the length, but almost double. I think it goes to about 1 meter 30 or something, if I remember correctly, 1 meter 40. And so suddenly you have a slider that goes very, very long when you want those long shots. And so really they just need to make those, because the connection points here are available for those extension rods, but they just need to make those extension rods available. And so once they do, I think this could be absolutely a great replacement for my Canova system, just because I can fit this into a suitcase, go anywhere I want with it, and then suddenly when I want it really, really long, I can do that. It means I don't have to carry two lengths of sliders, which I don't, but it would be nice to have those two different lengths. But I don't have to carry two sliders. I don't have to own two sliders, because currently I have my 150 centimeter slider, the K7, and I have my 80 centimeter K2, because I have to have that 80 centimeters so it can fit into my suitcase. So I definitely really like that, and I definitely would like to see this as a lighter weight slider in the future, because really a lot of this weight isn't needed. There's a big chunk of metal here, big chunk of metal here, big chunk of metal here, and a big chunk of metal here. And this one I can forgive for the strength that it gives and for the large amount of connection points that it has for connecting to you know, your slider system, your tripod and head system. But the rest of it really doesn't need that much metal, way too much metal, and really this could be much lighter than this. And so I really like this. They, you know, if you get one that doesn't have the issue of, you know, one of the bearings being out of position, then it is a fantastic little slider. I really like it. And please do message Kame and say, hey, I want your slider, but I want it with extension rods. And then hopefully if enough of us message them, then they'll start selling those extension rods. By the way, let me show you how this thing disassembles. You can't fully disassemble it because these two rods are connected at the center here. And by the way, a few people have asked me, why don't you get so-and-so slider? Why don't you review that? And I tell them because it doesn't have a connection point at the center for a tripod. So not this one specifically, but a lot of other carbon fiber sliders, they don't have a center connection point for a tripod, and I simply refuse to use them because what the hell am I going to do? I'm not going to be putting two tripods underneath here and here, because I have tried that once and I'm never trying it again. It is extremely annoying. So it's just, it sucks to set up and it sucks to work with and move around and stuff. So as you can see, this thing does come undone very easily, and then you have a place here to just connect the additional rods. You will find links below to all the things that I've discussed here and other reviews and parts and recommended things to use together with this system, like my pan tilt system, which is definitely recommended. And you know, the fluid head, the tripod, things like that, I will have links to those down below. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!